What's going on, beautiful people? Today we're going to be talking about a topic that I spend a lot of time talking to people about, which is protein and kidney disease. Now, this is not going to be a video about studies. This is not going to be a video about medical reference, etc. Why? Because we're going to get into experience. We are going to get a little bit deeper. And I have a lot of people who contact me with stage 2, stage 3 kidney failure, and problems with kidneys in general. And when I look at these people, they never consumed any protein in their life. So let's think about it for a little bit. Pharma industry is telling you that protein kills the kidneys. Too much protein damages the kidneys, therefore you're going to face the kidney failure, etc. They're not going to be able to filtrate the liquids properly, etc. However, people, in my experience, who suffer from kidney failure the most have never eaten much protein at all. Those are people between 50 and 65 who are overweight, they never worked out, they have weak bones, they have no muscle mass, they have high body fat, all the way to a point where they literally have cellulite on their body fat because there's nothing, just skin, body fat, and a weak bone. These people eat average foods, just fast foods, and they cook at home. They eat desserts, they drink alcohol. None of them work out and eat high protein. So where is this failure or failed information coming from? We also have meta-analysis that have looked at over 2,100 studies. They pulled out 30 most valuable ones, and they examined them, and they found out there's no association between the protein consumption and a kidney disease whatsoever. So it's a myth. Now, practically speaking, I never had an athlete who came to me, a 6'2", muscular built guy in his 40s who has a stage 4 kidney failure because he eaten a lot of protein, he worked out too hard, and he was a sprinter for life. Never happened. It's always people who never work out, who don't eat protein, who have weak bones, and who have weak muscle mass. So we got to think about it a little bit and just start being more realistic, because these people get the recommendation to stop eating protein in general, or at least consume as little protein as possible. Now, this person hasn't even eaten a lot of protein their entire life, and now they are recommended to limit the protein even more? How does it even make sense? Like, this person is going to get even more problems with the muscle mass, even more problems with the bone density. And what else are they going to eat? Wheat, barley, gluten, seed oils, sugar? What do you want them to eat is my question. Like, ask this to your doctor. Like, okay, if I'm not supposed to eat protein, which keeps my body strong, and pretty much after water, you just one big walk in protein, what am I supposed to eat? Just carbohydrates and some nuts? Like, it doesn't even make sense, guys. We got to think about it. Protein didn't get them to the state of disease because they haven't eaten any. That's literally 99.99% of the cases that I deal with. And now they're being recommended to cut all of the protein, or at least eat as little as possible, especially not the protein from the animal sources, which is the most bioavailable. So what are they supposed to eat in their 70s and 80s? Now, of course, we know the older you get, the stronger you gotta be. Now, the exchange, the cellular exchange of the old cells being replaced for the new cells happens a lot quicker in the old body versus the new body. So the new body can keep the cells longer than the old body. What does that mean? That you need more protein, because the new cells are being synthesized from the protein that you consume. So older people actually need more protein than younger people. Now, these older people who got kidney disease and they never eaten any protein are now being recommended to eat even less protein. It's going to weaken their bones. It's going to weaken their muscle mass. They're going to be more pronounced to get a hip fracture. And also with the hip fracture, people get a hip fracture and then they fall. The myth is, or the legend says, that people fall, elderly, and then they break their hip. No, that's not how it works. The problem is that the structure, the bone structure of the body is so weak, it's not capable of holding the body anymore. So the hip fractures, and because it fractures, a person all of a sudden falls in the middle of whatever they're doing in their kitchen or wherever they are. So just think about it. The bone structure of the body got so weak, it fractured. Why? Because they didn't consume enough essential nutrients that recover the tissues, and hormones, which are animal products. And also, they don't exercise because we tell elderly not to exercise, and we protect them, and we almost put them in like a freaking plastic bag to protect them from all the bacteria, from all the environmental challenges, and tell them to be very careful. And therefore, we are stealing the most important thing that that body needs, and that's a physical stress. Elderly people don't have enough physical stress. They should exercise just like young people. They should work out just like young people. Why? So they can maintain the bone density and the muscle mass to stay strong and healthy in the older age. So we got to think about, what are we even recommending to people? Like people who haven't eaten protein their entire life, maybe just from some burgers or from whatever sources they've gotten, and pizza, cheese on the pizza and stuff like that. And now we recommend them not to eat any protein, where the protein wasn't even the main nutrient or ingredient that got them to this stage 3 or 4 kidney failure. Now, what gets you there is a high blood pressure. High blood pressure is the #1 kidney killer across the world, and also deficiency in the potassium. So you got to make sure you got your potassium up, and also your blood pressure must be stable. That's your #1 job. Now, what do all these people have in common that come to me? Well, first of all, they're between 50 and 65. Second of all, they never eaten protein, they never worked out, and they all have high blood pressure for the past 20, 30 years. So now we clearly see that a high blood pressure is a silent killer of the kidneys. But now we actually give recommendations to these people that makes them weaker and makes them pronounced to get even more different disease in the future. So let's cut the bullshit, guys. We can't recommend to people to stop eating protein. Protein is a major building blocker, and pretty much every single tissue depends on it. That's how it stays strong and healthy. So protein doesn't damage the kidneys. People who do have kidney disease, as I said, I am in the ring, I am in the field with people who have that disease have not eaten a lot of protein in their lifetime. So cut that crap. Just start eating protein, start working out, make sure that your bone structure is strong, you have a lot of muscle mass, which is very metabolically active. It's gonna help you reduce the blood pressure as well, and hydrate properly, keep your body fat low, keep your body weight at the healthy range, and you're not gonna have these issues. I'll see you at the next video.